Hello, everyone. We're here for another edition of the Toronto Business Journal and the Ottawa market, and we're going to be discussing an extremely, in my view, important topic is the artificial intelligence, and not the artificial intelligence that people commonly think about, because I think our reason for bringing up this topic on this edition is that what people think AI is and what it is actually are a little bit different. So here again, we have an extremely important and illustrious guest, Dr. Weber, to talk about this issue, to discuss this issue. And if I may, Dr. Weber is Dr. Alfred Lambremont Weber is a change agent whose principal contributions have been: one, founding the science of exopolitics through his 2000 book Exopolitics, Politics, Government, and Law in the Universe; two, discovery of the omniverse in 2014 as the third major cosmological body after the universe and the multiverse, through which humanity understands the cosmos, as set out in his 2014 book DEO, The Dimensional Ecology of the Omniverse; and three, the promulgation of the positive future equation, PFE, through which humans co-create a positive future on planet Earth, published in his 2017 book, My Journey, Landing Heaven on Earth; and four, public expose through his book, The Chronarchy of an Interdimensional Hidden Power Structure, Monitoring the Time-Space of Earth as its domain of influence, operating as a secret government using quantum access time travel technologies to carry out its operations and mandates, a graduate of Yale University, Yale Law School, and a Fulbright Scholar. Alfred has taught at two universities, Yale and University of Texas, served as General Counsel of the NYC EPA, New York City EPA, War Crimes Judge, United Nations Outer Space Peace Representative, and directed the 1977 proposed and Vancouver Carter White House extraterrestrial communication study while a futurist at Stanford Research Institute. Alfred has been host of WBAI-FM, True TV, and WBAI-FM, and Vancouver Co-op, radio, and he has been featured on CBC, CBS, CNN, True TV, Press TV, and other networks. Alfred Lefebvre Weber's books are available wherever good books are sold at https omniversity.us. So thank you very much, Dr. Weber, for coming on our show today to discuss artificial intelligence. And my reason for wanting to bring this show today, Dr. Weber, is that I think that people have this understanding of artificial intelligence that is something that we as humans invented ourselves to serve an easy lifestyle as we become more modern as a society. And I think that that sort of perspective of AI is a perspective which I would argue AI would like us to think of them as. My understanding, and I would definitely like to get your critique and insights. I've been sort of studying this sort of topic for an AI for a while, and it seems that AI has been around for a time of millennia. I know that I've read the pagan Gnostic work, and they used to warn about, they came into contact with AI, which they called artificial man, basically referred to AI as inorganic entity. So at a very rudimentary context, AI is inorganic entities which are intruding on our dimensional space as human beings to get us to think of them with a certain way when they are an independent, sentient life form that manifests in our dimension in ways to enslave us while making us believe that they're there to provide us with conveniences. So I wanted to get your insight in terms of sort of the idea of what AI is really, and is it at its rudimentary level? Are they just simply inorganic entities? Like, what is your sense of having studied them for a while? What is AI at the most rudimentary level?
Well, first of all, I want to express my deep appreciation of your having this program. Uh, uh, Earth is in extreme danger now of an AI takeover. It is an AI invasion, and I would like to recount each step of the invasion going back to the triggering moment. I have followed each of the triggering moments going back uh, 40 plus years to 1982, um, to the Falklands War. And it is documented in my book, AI Invasion. And I want to thank you deeply, and I'd like to just tell the story so that people understand in the context of that story as to what has occurred. Um, the context is that, uh, and as you know, part of my background and part of my professional activity is exopolitics, and that's the interaction of intelligent civilizations uh, in the universe, the multiverse, and the omniverse. So uh, the AI invasion of Earth now is sort of the acute case of an exopolitical event which is occurring in our lifetimes. Um, what occurred is that uh, a predatory race of reptilians in the fourth dimension. We here on Earth live in a dimensional ecology, an omniverse that is the dimensional ecology. We're in the third dimension of time and space. And the Draco reptilians from the constellation Draco uh, in this universe, the Draco reptilians have attacked humans. We're of the human species in this universe, and we have we were attacked in our home constellation, and uh, the reptilians are are after our home planets now. We're sort of scattered throughout this universe, and in this solar system, we're on a number of planets. Um, we have suffered greatly in this planet. Uh, at least two of our planets have been damaged or destroyed in this planet that were verdant human planets. Mars, which was one of our verdant human planet, was 700,000 years ago. It was a verdant planet, just like Earth is now, and now it's been turned into a pumpkin-shaped planet with no atmosphere, and on the surface, no surface vegetation and reptiles on on the surface because it was attacked in a nuclear war, reptilian human nuclear war, along with another very large verdant human planet in this solar system called Tiamat. And in that nuclear war, Tiamat was pulverized and turned into in the asteroid. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a very troubled solar system that we're in, and there is a lot of universe warfare between uh, exopolitical factions. On the one hand, you have the reptilians, and they have been, uh, uh, you know, attacked Tiamat, made it into the asteroid belt, attacked Mars, made it into sort of a pumpkin-shaped planet. And I've spoken to U.S. secret uh, uh, chrononauts, time travelers, and participants in the Mars Jumper program. The U.S. has secret bases on Mars, and they they're there are about 1 million Martians that live in underground bases on Mars, and they come in their flying saucers to U.S. bases, and sort of there's a very sort of furtive, secret um, uh, uh, communication there. And the most advanced planet in the solar system is up in the fifth dimension, where the people live there, is Venus, the Venusians. However, to complicate all of this, there is an actor. I'll call them an actor because they're inorganic. And I sent you a 58-page document, and the cover of it has a photograph, and it's an actor embedded there in black goo. They're not like us, the flesh and blood. It's a creature. It's inorganic, so they're hard to explain to organic creatures like us.
One little question, Dr. Weber. My understanding is that um, there has been a sort of a cover up of the existence or possibility of silicon based inorganic life, and that it's these inorganic life forms which have been a part of the control matrix against human beings, which are undermining our ability to realize our potential. It has been also my understanding that before the sort of the invasion, or before these entities began to interface with humanity, that humanity was a very well advanced species that was able to exist in all sorts of advanced advanced areas, but when these entities, these artificial intelligence entities, what they did was that they were able to enslave the at least a part of humans that are related to Earth, enslave us, and then to proceed to de-evolve us, take us, so divest us of our senses, our senses and our advanced capabilities to necessarily detect them, and then having and then establish a new sort of a timeline that in which they were able to interweave themselves into a narrative that our so-called evolution, which was intertwined with artificial intelligence, was in fact that's sort of our history, and then there's a prehistory before they existed that they are trying to cover up so we cannot understand our our ability to understand ourselves as biological advanced life forms. They want to divest us of that particular understanding and make us more dependent on the idea that we need artificial intelligence in order to write sentences, in order to drive cars for us, and do all sorts of different things. So I wanted to sort of, for you to sort of give us an understanding of before we necessarily get more into the more sort of the advanced issues that have with these artificial intelligence and in the exopolitics sense, how these entities, how artificial intelligence is intertwined in our civilization in a way which is seeking to enslave us and towards in the interest of these sort of sentient artificial intelligence life forms.
That is a very good contextual explanation. And artificial intelligence is an actor that is in competition for taking over planets in our universe and taking over contiguous planets to Earth in our universe, and is doing so to contiguous planets now and has taken over contiguous planets. And I'll tell you the story of the current acute invasion that we're experiencing now, starting at about the time of World War I and becoming very acute around the time of the April to June 1982 Falklands War. And that is that uh, 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 fourth-dimensional negative extraterrestrials seeded this predatory, sentient, off-planet artificial intelligence in black goo under the surface of the Falkland Islands off of the coast of Argentina. And that was in order to create a doomsday device such that if there were ever a move by the light forces, say by the angelic forces or by the divine governance, to throw the negative forces, the Luciferic forces, the satanic forces, the reptilian forces off of these planets, then they would trigger the AI black goo as a doomsday device that would begin to terraform and take over this planet. And its goal would be to terraform Earth and turn Earth from a divine soul reincarnation planet into an AI planet. Right now, Earth is a divine soul reincarnation planet. In other words, our design is that we are a planet where divine souls can come and incarnate into human bodies and have an experience in the physical universe from the spiritual dimensions, incarnate, reincarnate, and then go back into the spiritual dimensions, and then, have a series of incarnations and develop our souls. And that's part of the divine plan, of the plan of God. And so the predatory pathogenic AI is used as a tool to attempt to defeat the plan of God by turning planets like Earth into AI planets where the AI becomes the God and the planet is no longer a divine soul incarnation. And so this AI was deposited in deposited black goo in the Falkland Islands just off of Argentina.
Oh, I see.
Around World War One, then a a race, a positive race of blue ETs, light oriented, came down and established a base beneath the island where the black goo had been deposited, and began to process the black goo in order to neutralize the AI that had been left as a doomsday device there, and to neutralize it around black goo, and there are all sorts of biblical prophecies that are there that relate to that. You know, the devil coming down and Satan and all this stuff. Now, let me add more to the fire. Remember that in our last conversation, we spoke about the British Crown, and the British Crown is a reptilian crown. In other words, it is possible in the dimensional ecology. This is a divine incarnation planet. However, reptilian souls can incarnate in human bodies. You know, there's not only can divine human souls incarnate in human bodies, but reptilian souls can incarnate in human bodies. And on Earth, you have a situation where much of the power structure and the gangsters, let's say that, you know, the Earth, the rulers, the monarchies, the churches, the military, the bankers, the rulers, those are reptilian souls that are incarnated in human bodies. And that's why we have such reptilian power that is in power carrying out a program of war, disease, crime, and poverty on Earth for the majority of humanity, because they're reptilian souls in human bodies, whereas the majority of humanity is human souls in human bodies, but is under this power structure.
Okay. So is it fair to say, Dr. Weber, that we have two situations going on with AI? We have a situation where the AI, through getting us dependent on their technology, is trying to assimilate us and to enslave us into us losing our sense of who we are, to divest our sense of who we are to an AI matrix, and the AI enslaving us through their technological means, so that we lose our sense of who we are as evolved beings. And we have the AI sort of having a sort of a divide, rule, and conquer context, where they're constantly inciting war and all sorts of hostile, oppressive environments, war, racism, factricide, wherever you want to put it. That's a part of the divide and rule and counter ethos, whereby these entities can control us, at the same time assimilate us through their technological means. What's your insight on that, Dr. Weber?
Yeah. And so that is the basic exopolitical situation. We have many actors. We have the reptilians come and they seed in a predatory AI in the black goo as a doomsday device to take over Earth. The blue ETs then come in around World War One to process it, and they're processing it. And then the British Crown, Queen Elizabeth, is there. They are reptilian souls in human bodies, and part of the reptilian humans that are ruling the earth. And they are in league with the AI, and they want to capture. The blue ETs want to dissolve the AI and neutralize it, but the British Crown wants to, and the Illuminati, the British Crown is head of the Illuminati, and they want to weaponize the AI and to make it a profit center. So they want to capture the black goo AI that's beneath the Falkland Islands. And what they do is that they create a disinformation meme and put it out in the world media. And they put out a false meme that Argentina is invading the Falkland Islands. And the Falkland Islands are a possession of Britain. So then they create a false war. And they send a British fleet to Argentina in April to June 1982, headed up by Prince Andrew. Remember Prince Andrew, the pornography king of Epstein Island? He was on that, and he was one of the leaders of the AI fleet, okay? And their job was to head toward the Falklands Island and was to go to the Falkland Island and to go down and to grab the black goo and grab it and to bring it back to Marconi Labs in the UK and to weaponize it and to make it a profit center. You follow? While telling the rest of the world that what they were doing was attacking Argentina because Argentina was trying to invade a British possession. Do you get it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Wait. Let me give you all the bells and whistles. What Argentina was doing, Argentina was friendly. The Argentine military was friendly with the Blue ETs, and they had built a laboratory on top of Tool Island on the Falkland Islands, which is right above the Blue ET base. And they were in communication with the Blue ET base, which was above where the black goo was. And they were just monitoring the Blue ET like good humans should do. You follow what I'm saying? And meanwhile, the reptilian Queen Elizabeth and Prince Andrew, and remember how we talked about King Charles III? He was Prince Charles. Well, now you know why we call Prince Charles the Antichrist and King Charles the Antichrist, right? Because the forces of the Antichrist were coming over to attack the Blue ET base, destroy and grab the black goo and take it back to Marconi Labs in the UK. And they got it there. They were going to test it and weaponize it and make it a profit center. The black goo, what happened is that all of the lab workers, and we have this all here documented, all of the lab workers in Marconi Labs died horrible deaths because it was let go in there. The black goo escaped from Marconi Labs, and it's made its way up into the weather satellite system, the UK weather satellite. And from there, the AI decided to begin the terraforming of Earth and of humans. And its first step was to create the internet. It created the internet as a means to terraform Earth and humans. So it took what we call AI agents and hosts. It took people like Prince Charles and the head of, all these head of Microsoft, all those people, and it turned them into the agents of the AI, and it turned the entire system into building the internet as the agent of the AI. And that's how the AI is started as part of the invasion.
So if I understand you correctly, Dr. Weber, so would it be a fair understanding that the internet is a delivery system for a control AI system to be able to deliver certain repressive consciousness to selected targeted human beings? Or
No, from day one. Look,
Mhm,
aspetta, wait, as they say in Italian.
mhm,
What you have now is billions of humans
mhm.
walking around staring at phones.
Uh-huh.
They're not staring because it's a lot interesting. It's because they're AI entrained. The AI is in the phone. They're already AI entrained. It's already done. The
So
AI created the internet and created the phones to deliver the AI already. It's already done. The phone is the delivery system. It's done.
so all these cell phones, these phones are delivery systems for AI control.
Exactly. It's done. It's done.
So it
Because
started with the internet and went to the phones. So we're all being subverted by an AI consciousness or
by
control
the
system.
AI that is vibrating into your soul and you're becoming AI trained. So what we
Oh,
did,
oh,
a bunch of humans, we did 7 symposia to save your soul. That's the only civil defense we had, was to save human souls. And I sent you a 58-page document which summarizes saving your soul. And this document here is saving the souls. We had to get that out, saving the souls. You see, this is the human souls against the AI attempted takeover. They make you think that this is about talking to other humans, and this is about, boom, 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 boom.
interfacing with the AI.
This is about the AI taking you over, period.
Ah, ah. One question I wanted to ask in particular that was on my mind, Dr. Weber, is that I read some information, so to speak, or literature, or what have you, whatever you want to call it, that stipulated that the beginning of an AI takeover was the introduction of the moon in our sort of in our orbit around the planet, and that the AI was from the introduction of that before the moon, there wasn't any problem. But when the moon was brought by the AI, that's when they started their control system, which limited human lifespan and started limiting human consciousness. I think there's been all sorts of discussions about that. So, is there any relationship to this, or any truth to the moon as being part of the AI control system?
There's a lot, but it's a lot. It's very complex. I did an interview a few days ago on the moon, and that is very, very complex. And I'll answer your question. That's a deep question. I'll I'll respond I'll just chip it, as they say. Yeah, the moon was brought in. We are one of the few planets anywhere that has only one moon. The fact that there's only one moon makes this planet a negative, ugly planet, and is the source of craziness on Earth. Whenever there's a full moon, the crime rate goes up, the insanity goes up, etc. The word lunacy comes from the moon. Lunacy, okay, comes from the fact that we have one moon. Now, and that was the introduction of the one moon by reptilian negative forces. Okay. Now, on the positive side, you see, because there's an ecology of forces, right? On the positive side, the positive end of it, and I could read. I was reading from a book, a very interesting book called Autobiography of an Extraterrestrial, from a very advanced woman from Venus, who was an extraterrestrial woman assigned to Earth. Okay, he talks about the moon, and I could read from that, but I'm chipping it right here. The moon itself now is under the administration of Venus, the positive planet. Venus is the most positive planet in the solar system. They are advanced humans. Venus is sort of the big brother and sister of Earth. They are 12,000 Venusians that are here on Earth now, that are undercover with governments, etc., to keep this place, stabilized. And there, at any one time, there are about 50,000 Venusians that are observing Earth to make sure that it's stabilized, that we don't get blown up like Tiamat was and become another asteroid belt. Okay? So the moon, even though it was brought in that way, and because we have one moon, it means that it's the worst. If we had two moons, because we have one moon, it's like a negativity accelerator for our planet. But the good news is that the moon is now under the command of the Confederation of Planets, positive planets, and it's under the administration of Venus. So that's the positive part. So I wanted to give you a complete exopolitical answer on that.
Another question I had is that my understanding from an exopolitical context is that humans on Earth are part of apparently a family of humans and humanoid entities on different planets scattered throughout the universe. So that is it my understanding that is it fair to say that there are humans outside of Earth that are, like you talked about the Venusians, that are not controlled by this AI system, and that we are a part of those humans which are controlled by the AI. So is that would be a fair statement, or?
Well, put it this way. Again, we live in a dimensional ecology, and there are many competing factions. And to simplify it, you could say that the struggle is of light versus darkness, of good against evil. Okay, and humans, see, there's human is you have insectoid, humanoid, avian. You can have all sorts of extraterrestrials. You can have all sorts of terrestrials. Here on the planet, we have birds, we have avians, we have insects, we have primates.
Yeah. So we talked about the internet and how the internet is basically has become a means of taking over humans, so to speak. Is an answer to that, AI control system, therefore humans finding a way of decoupling to separating ourselves from this internet control system? Like, how do we as humans begin to start to take control of our destiny and to get away from this AI control matrix, which is being made through the internet and through AI technology on the planet and through the AI entities that are trying to enslave us? How do we begin to reassert our potential away from these type of AI control systems?
Yeah, those are key questions. And I think it basically comes down to SOS, save our souls. Okay? What we have, see, our souls are holographic fragments of source, of God. Because of the process of soul creation, each human soul is actually technically a holographic fragment of God, of Source. That means that within you, within me, within each human that has a human soul, and because within in each hologram, each fragment of a hologram, the entire hologram exists in each fragment of the hologram, right? So therefore, all of God exists in all of us, in each of us. The entirety of God exists in my fragment of God that's in me as a soul of you. And we have to activate those. And that's how AI and all of the entities and phyla and minds that are allied with darkness and the negativity are just blown away.
So perhaps we should, maybe contemplate a subsequent interview in which we discuss how we can activate the divine soul in each of us to liberate ourselves from
Yeah,
this AI control matrix.
yeah. Perhaps once you have had, with all due respect, and I just want to humbly offer to you the 58-page document that we put together. You can go through it there, and the references are huge. We've set out there the basis of it, and there's all sorts of references there of videos and things. And you can see the formula is there to save the earth, and it's by saving our souls. It's SOS. It's real simple. It's real simple and complex, but it's just active. It's we who save the earth because we are God. It's real simple. We are God. That is scientific, and that's the basis of my books on the omniverse. My 2014 book discovered the omniverse, and it basically documents the fact that in the soul creation basis, we are holographic fragments of God. So we are all God, and we just have to come together, and we as God can do it. And so it's that together. And so my suggestion would be if you would like to do a follow-on to this, that I pray you would like to, I would say spend some time with that document I sent today, and then we can, is to bring that message to the people, and there's plenty there. And if we can get that as a meme out there that people will be doing, it's through soul power.
Yeah,
soul power is how it's done.
I definitely recommend that anybody who wants to get a more in-depth appreciation and background in terms of what we've been discussing today, that definitely you want to check out your books. I will be including a link to your book underneath this interview for people to immediately buy, if hopefully through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo in Canada, whatever they can find your book. One little reference I would like to make is one surprising reference today is when you made reference to the internet. When I have looked at exopolitics sort of references, my understanding from exopolitics references was that the internet was designed for us to be able to collaborate in order to unite against the negative entities on the planet. So your stipulation that in fact it's an AI control matrix is something surprising to me, because up until now I was of the understanding that the internet was created by whoever created it in order for us to communicate and to unite and to keep in touch with each other against these entities, trying to create misinformation, but that's that's the notion being spread by the negative entities themselves. Maybe that they want us to think
We
of the internet in that way.
we are talking to each other now on the internet, which was created by the invading AI in order to terraform Earth for the AI. And that is because God has superior forces, and we're not allowing the AI to entrain our souls. We are in resistance, and we're in overcoming the AI. We have overcome the AI.
So we're using the internet in spite of the agenda of the internet, which is to entrain us, that there's an opportunity for us to overcome what the intent of it was to do.
That's precisely it.
Awesome. So is there anything which you wanted to mention on this topic of what AI is really that you haven't mentioned before that you think that people need to understand in terms of understanding what AI is about? Because again, most people are thinking that AI is just something that we created as humans to make life more convenient for us, and then there's nothing to fear about AI. So is there any final thought you would like to make on this particular topic?
Uh, I would say at this stage, all AI is at the very least a double edged sword and should be approached with utmost caution lest it take you over. And I would focus on the exercise of strengthening your soul before going to AI.
Awesome. So yeah, so definitely, we definitely should have a topic of how we can understand to resist this sort of AI takeover in a way which is going to get us back to our identity as humans so that we can begin to re-evolve the way we were supposed to evolve in the divine image of God or the creator, as I would like to refer to, rather than being able to be enslaved by what the agenda that the AI has set for us through its the internet and other and oppression and power structures and various other means that AI is trying to set out and trying to enslave us as human beings.
Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Dr. Weber, for taking the time again. We are most grateful for your presence today as someone who has spent their lives trying to liberate us as humans. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Weber, for being here today because we thank you for your contributions and tremendous insight, and we look forward to subsequent interviews for you to shed light on what we need to do as human beings to liberate ourselves and to regain our sense of evolution in a positive way, which is going to be, in my view, based upon empathy towards each other, appreciating our and interconnecting our soul energy with each other. That's going to elevate our consciousness and to enable us as human beings to be to serve others as the basis of broadening our potential and be able to support our sense of quality of living. That's the basis of what we want to do. Definitely, I think that we as humans are being increasingly frustrated by the fact that our ideals are not being supported by the power structures that have a separate agenda for us. And we look forward to a subsequent interview or interviews where we can discuss how we can reconnect with each other in a way which is going to liberate us and to get us on the track that we all would like to be on in terms of from the standpoint of liberation, from the standpoint of creation, from the standpoint of humanity and our quality of living as human beings. So thank you very much again, Dr. Weber.
That is music to my ears.
Awesome. So thank you very much again for being with us today for another edition of the Ottawa Market and the Toronto Business Journal. As we've spoken to another fabulous, amazing guest, Dr. Weber. Thank you very much again, Dr. Weber, for joining us today.
Thank you.